Hi, I'm Nicole Kemper. I'm a writer, filmmaker, and actor living in Atlanta, Georgia. This is 50 Foot Woman, and I've committed to shooting at least one roll of Super 8 film per month. So this month, the challenge that I wanted to give myself was to shoot interior. So with that in mind, the film stock I chose was 500T. It's Kodak 500T. I did a previous video about it and where I actually unboxed it. I bought it from Cinestill. They had a really good deal. And my thinking was that, you know, I don't know, I'm not very good with lighting. It's something I'm still learning about. And so I wanted to go with a higher speed film stock that would require less light, knowing that it was going to have a lot more grain than some of the other things that I've been shooting on. But I also wanted to compare the look of, say, a 500T, so a higher speed film, with something like a 200T or a 50D. As for the subject of what I was shooting this month, my friend Sarah, who is a longtime collaborator, we've performed in comedy shows together, we've produced comedy shows together, we've produced films together, we've directed films together. We've been working together for many years. And she does this really fun photo project every month with her partner. They pick a theme, they do costumes, they make an entire, they make set pieces. And it's a really fun sort of photo shoot that they do together every month. And on this particular month when I was shooting, their theme was Sarah was gonna be like a giant human-sized cat. So she got like a whole cat costume and a bunch of different props and things. And I was like, that sounds wild. Would you mind if I come by and just film a little bit with my Super 8 camera? And she was like, yeah, sure. So it was pretty low key for me because they had already, I brought some lights, but they already had a bunch of lights there. After taking some readings, I realized that the lights I brought were not quite strong enough. So fortunately they had some more high-powered lights. And so I'm pretty happy with what came back, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So as far as what I shot on this month, the original plan was to shoot on the Canon 1014, but if you've been watching my videos, and if you haven't, feel free to go back and look at the absolute cluster of what happened with the Canon 1014. It was not in commission. I couldn't use it. In fact, I think it was in pieces that month that I was shooting this. So I brought out my trusty Bell & Howell 431. I've had this camera for about 10 years. And she's always been good to me. So it had been a really long time since I shot with it, but I didn't want to skip this month. So I was like, you know what? Just because the 1014 is out of commission doesn't mean that I can't still film this month. So I'm really glad that I brought her out again because I actually really do love this camera. I also think that maybe I'll do a deeper video on it at some point, but I also think that this camera is really good for beginners. I did bring the light meter app on my phone, but honestly, there is a light meter in the camera. It doesn't tell you what the aperture is, but it does kind of tell you, there's like a little thing in the viewfinder that will tell you if you have too much light or not enough light or just the right amount of light. And so it's pretty simple. I did have a little trouble on set because I didn't really get it out and practice with it. And so there were a couple things that I struggled with using this camera that I hadn't used in a long time. But like I said, it's pretty easy to use. And so if you're a beginner, the Bell & Howell 431, really strong, well-made camera. It's given me a lot of good years, and I think it's a really good beginner camera. This footage was developed and scanned by Negativland. And so this was my first time using them. I was really happy with what came out. They actually provide you with a log file, so ungraded, just a really high quality scan. And then they also do a pass on the color correction, which is great if you don't really know how to do color correction. I think they did a really good job. I'm still gonna go through and do my own color correction using the log file, which I'll show you in another video. But I thought the pass they did was really nice. And if you're not really comfortable and you don't really know a whole lot about color correction, then, and you're just kind of getting into shooting with film, negative land is great, because then you can kind of see the comparison between what it looks like ungraded and what it looks like graded, and also they do a pretty good job. So, and I can't get over how cute this case is that they sent the negative in. I'm sorry, but it's so, it's really, I mean, obviously it's also really solid and is going to protect the film, which is really great, but also I just thought it was like really nice touch. Okay, so let's take a look at some human-sized cats. So I will say that I think it's a little overexposed, which is better than underexposed. I think that I'm really happy with all the little bits that we got. I feel like I'm really comfortable with Sarah, and I was able to, she takes direction really well. She was really in character as this cat. They had a really cute set. They had some lights in the background, which added a little bit of depth to things. I think that my thing that I've noticed about working with the Bell and Howell is that I think it does really nice close-ups, and I struggle a little bit with using the zoom on it. Sometimes when I try to zoom in, it's not always quite in focus. I didn't do a lot of that here. It was really loose and we had a good time. I think that I can't take credit for any of the costuming or the sets or anything because they did all of that. But I guess the lesson here is that it's really fun to work with others, and that, you know, sometimes we want to like kind of do everything ourselves. But they had this really cute set that had a lot of texture to it and stuff. At one point I wasn't sure if the film was advancing, so I did kind of take it out and try to roll it through, and it was really just me not remembering how the footage counter works on the Bell and Howell. The Bell and Howell does do slow motion if you hold the trigger down. So if you hold the trigger down lightly, it does it at 18 frames per second. If you squeeze it harder, I don't remember, I'd have to look at the manual. I can't remember exactly what the frames per second are, but it does a higher frame rate when you hold down the trigger and squeeze it. And so it does like a really, I'm really happy with the slow motion. It's I just kind of forgot about that. Again, I haven't used this camera in 10 years. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. Let's add a little bit of slow motion into this. This is incredibly silly. I am going to cut this together, and I don't know. I've got some ideas about what to do with it. And I think I'm just going to try to cut it together in the spirit of this like sort of fun and silliness that we did. What can I say about the actual footage and the stock here? Yeah, I mean, the 500T has more grain, but it's not offensive to me. Maybe it'll look different when I actually bring it into DaVinci. We'll probably notice the grain a lot more, but just like right off the jump, I'm not bothered by it. I think if you were trying to mix 500T with like a 50D or even like maybe a 200T, I think you would notice the grain pretty dramatically. If you're shooting something in like an interior and you were using 500T consistently, I don't think that you would notice the grain as much. I definitely think I'll put up a comparison of the grain between the two, and I think you'll see an obvious difference. I'll do that in my next video when I'm doing some color grading. That's it. It rolled out pretty quick. This was just one roll. It's a lot different than when you go completely insane and shoot 3 rolls in 1 month. Thanks for watching. This has been 50 Foot Woman. I upload new episodes every Wednesday. I also do a blog on Substack. So on the blog, I include more of my still photography on there. I've been doing a lot of medium format photography with my Mamiya 645. I've also been doing a little bit of 35 millimeter. I'm going to continue to experiment with still photography over there. So if you subscribe to the Substack, you'll also get the videos, but there'll be a little bit more with some still photography and some of my like thoughts about how I'm progressing as I try to learn more and try to explore film formats more deeply. If you're interested in that, I'm going to put a link below to the Substack. I'm also putting a link to Sarah's Instagram, where she posts these awesome film shoots. There's a bunch of them. They're really fun. They're all really different. In the next video in this series, I'm going to be color grading this footage and sharing the results with you so you can see how it turned out. So I hope you'll join me for that. Stay weird, be weird, dress like a cat if you want, and let's shoot some more film, you guys.